We live in a partisan age, and habits can reinforce our own perspectives. Think of this as an effort to expand our collective perspective with articles beyond our typical choices. From the right's latest target on married women, by Jeet here in the Nation at tinyurl 2hf9ux2n. Author's context: the reactionary right has found a fascinating new target in the ongoing culture war. This time it was Taylor Swift. Quote, the latest political cause Swift has taken on is voter registration. Like vaccination, voter registration was once seen as a harmless activity that anyone with good intentions could support. It has now become a source of partisan polarization. As Edith Olmsted noted in The New Republic, Swift's Instagram advocacy on National Voter Registration Day on September 17 led a 115% increase in 18-year-olds registering to vote compared the same day a year ago. Voting by unmarried women poses a particular threat to the GOP. In 2020, 63% of single women voted for Biden instead of Trump. This is bad news for the Republican Party, as the number of married people is decreasing. From The Forgotten History of American Populism, by Tim Brinkhoff at Jacobin at tinyurl 56vmz29z. Author's context: liberals often identify populism with the politics of Donald Trump. But in the Gilded Age, where massive inequality led to poverty and exploitation, populism meant working-class resistance to corporate power. Quote, populism has a progressive history that these narratives ignore. As former labor educator and union activist Steve Babson shows in his book Forgotten Populists, when farmers turned left to save democracy, populism actually meant the opposite of what it used to mean. In the 1890s, populism was an umbrella term for different political movements organized by America's working class. Far from threatening democracy, their aim was to limit and reduce the power of the country's moneyed elite. From Beyond the Myth of Rural America, by Daniel Emerwar in The New Yorker at tinyurl mrz7die72. Author context: a laid-off veteran buying rice roni at Dollar General is not our preferred of rural life, but it is more accurate than the farmhouse painting in American Gothic. This is an especially worth pondering these days, when rural discontent increasingly drives politics. Quote, although politics has always had an urban-rural rift, it has become a clear rift in the last decade. Democrats dominate in high-density places. None of 10 largest cities elected a Republican mayor in the last election, and only 2 of top 30 did so. Republicans, meanwhile, prevail in low-density areas, except for Native American reservations in the South and the Black Belt. It is now possible to interpret election in geographical terms. Democrats are winning cities. Republicans are winning rural areas. And the real question is in which direction suburbs will fragment. Right from In Every Generation, by John Podhoretz in commentary at tinyurl 3rrrsptmx. Explore all your options.